Aguilar Tomlinson with me. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great.
He is an amazing tenor. I've had the pleasure of hearing him. You guys will hear him a little bit later. He is a soloist in the upcoming Tomorrow's Stars Today concert with the Rhode Island Civic Chorale and Orchestra. And today you're going to talk to us a little bit about the concert and a little bit about how you got there, because it's kind of an interesting story.
Absolutely.
So, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
So you were a winner in the annual collegiate vocal competition.
Yeah. It was the 10th annual, their 10th annual competition. They, as it says, they've been doing it for 10 years, and they picked 4 different winners. They picked a tenor and a baritone, so I'm the tenor, there's another baritone, and then a soprano and a mezzo-soprano. One of my teachers at the Boston Conservatory, where I attend right now, recommended the competition to my friend and I, and my friend from Israel, Hagar Adam. She is the soprano in the competition too. We both
that's
ended up
amazing.
winning.
So
yeah.
you both won.
Yeah. So since day one of orientation, we've been friends. So it's really great.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare for the competition? You just kind of chose a piece that you've done before, or
kind of, yeah. So it's they build it as an oratorio competition. So in the world of classical singing, there's kind of 2 big concert stages. There's opera, which is staged theater, with acting and costumes and everything, and then there's oratorio, which has its roots in church music, things like Mozart's Requiem. So I prepared an oratorio work, and because we're performing Mozart's Coronation Mass and Benjamin Britten's Rejoice in the Lamb. So I picked a piece from Handel's Messiah, worked that a little bit, and presented it at the Music Mansion here in Providence.
Yes, that's right. That's where they have the competition every year.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool. So do you consider yourself an opera singer then as well? Like, do you do the acting and all that as well?
Yeah, I would say so. I got my start in musical theater back home in
Okay.
Minneapolis. I took a few years off out of high school before deciding to come out to the conservatory for college, because it's a conservatory is effectively like a trade school for voice.
Right, exactly. You're really hyper-focused in that area.
Yeah, you make a decision. There's no changing majors. You either do it or you leave. So I feel very at home with the dramatic on-stage aspect. And that's why I think oratorio is a really nice challenge and very fulfilling, because there's none of the, I wouldn't want to call them crutches, but dramatic crutches of lighting and staging. So you really get to just tell the story with your voice.
Right.
Which I really enjoy.
So did you have exposure to classical music and opera as a kid, or was that something that you kind of explored as you got older?
Oh, it's definitely something that I explored as I got older. I first started taking voice lessons because I was cast in the school musical, and in those lessons I only wanted to do like singer-songwriter stuff like Michael Bublé and Josh Groban a little bit. But my teacher, he said, in your voice there's a lot of good resonance, and he kind of dragged me kicking and screaming into my first couple classical pieces, and I just fell in love.
That is so cool. Kudos to that teacher out there. You were right. You can almost even tell in your speaking voice that, that tenor quality is there. So that teacher was definitely right on.
Oh yeah, some days in the morning, when I'm walking around the halls, I'm an RA in the dorm, someone will say, "Hi, Felix," and I'll just be like, "Hi, how's it going?"
I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. You're like, whatever, I can sing high notes higher than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So there you go. So as you said, you are now a student at the Boston Conservatory. What year are you in, and how are you liking the college vibe?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore this year, so I've been there. This will be my 4th semester, I suppose, and I'm really loving it. It was I put a lot of thought into where I wanted to go for school in that time off, and the conservatory just there's so many brilliant minds and so many talented people that it's really tough not to feel like you're in a whole different way. For me, it feels like Hogwarts, but for classical music.
Yes, exactly. And you're around a lot of other people, like you said, with your friend, who are just as invested into it. So you definitely have a community.
Yeah, it's like finding people who finally speak my language a
Right.
little bit, or sing my language, as it were.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about the concert with RICCO. I'm going to call the Rhode Island Civic Chorale and Orchestra RICCO for short.
Rolls off the
it's,
tongue.
Yes, exactly. It's a little bit of a mouthful. So tell us a little bit about the program, what you'll be singing.
Yeah, so the program, it starts with Mozart's Coronation Mass, which is a missa brevis that Mozart wrote, which means it takes all of the regular parts of the Mass, which are the ones that are sung at every Mass with the same text. So that's the Kyrie, the Gloria, the Agnus Dei. That's my music history speaking for me. And he set that to music. It's set for full orchestra, chorus, a full chorus, and a small choir of a small ensemble of 4 singers, a soprano, tenor, alto, bass. So I'll be singing all of the parts in that small ensemble. There's only one real solo aria that'll be done by the soprano in the Agnus Dei that's just gorgeous and beautiful. The rest is this really great, luxurious ensemble singing, and it's a really exciting work. It's got that Mozart bombastic, fun driving stuff. So that'll be the first movement. Then they have this Gustav Holst's 4 hymns that I'm not involved in at all.
Okay.
That's all just orchestra.
You get to sort of
chorus.
take a sip of water, relax for that one. Yeah.
That's all RICCO. And then there's this Rejoice in the Lamb by Benjamin Britten, who is a 20th century British composer, Benjamin Britten. And that's just a gorgeous, almost heartbreaking piece. It's based off of this poem called Jubilate Agnus, I think, Rejoice in the Lamb, by this man named Christopher Smart, I think. And he wrote it while he was confined to an asylum involuntarily.
Oh, wow.
He was put in there by his stepfather, presumably because of some unpaid debts. And all that he had was his cat Joffrey and the Bible and him, and it's like his poetry that he wrote in reflection while he was locked away in this place. And that has really, really gorgeous singing, gorgeous choral parts, but all 4 of us, instead of singing at the same time in ensemble, we'll each have our own solos in that.
Beautiful. Wow, that sounds powerful, just describing kind of the inspiration for the piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really gorgeous, and Britain does a lot of those heavier subjects well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this concert and the collegiate vocal competition is to really showcase the young talent coming into this genre. How do you feel this experience is preparing you for professional, the professional world of singing?
Yeah, right. No, exactly. It's really great because it's treated almost exactly like a professional gig would be treated. We're given the music. I'm in pretty regular contact with the conductor, Edward Markward, and about, well, what do you want for articulation here? Should I, where should I lift, breathe, forte, not,
Right.
But really we just get 2 days. We get 1 day of rehearsals by ourselves with the piano, and then with the orchestra on the Friday, and then Saturday we put the show up.
Wow.
And getting the chance to work with a very storied and competent, very strong professional orchestra and conductor and chorus is in itself a really great learning opportunity.
So is that generally how it's done as a soloist or a singer? You kind of rehearse almost on your own until you get there?
Yeah, especially for oratorio and concert works. Of course, that's, I give an example and you'll have a bunch of counter examples, but typically for out of city, work, you'll be given your own time and to work on it, coach it on your own, learn it, and then you bring it all together in the last couple days.
So fascinating. So what are your bigger goals? After you're done with school, what is sort of your next step, or what's your dream job?
Yeah, gosh. I'm under no illusions that if I could make any sort of a living singing, I would be just overjoyed.
Yes.
But ideally, I would love to get into opera. I would love to be singing. There's kind of based on my character, my musical theater background, there's a lot of roles called character tenor roles in operas, which tend to be the comedic relief, kind of goofier, fun. But I've got a bigger voice, so I would like to do those kinds of roles in some of the bigger opera houses, where the sound will carry more. Because they're just, they're low stakes. There's not usually as much to learn as a leading role, but there's also a lot of...
Yeah, they're usually more fun, too.
Yeah, they're lovable. It's not like John Jose who stabs Carmen at the end,
Yeah, you want to be loved. You want people to be like, oh, remember the funny guy?
Right,
He
exactly.
was really good.
Yeah.
So we have a very special treat because Felix is going to perform for us. Very excited about this. Tell us a little bit about the piece you're going to be doing for us.
So this piece is called O del mio amato ben by an Italian composer, Stefano Donaudi. He wrote late 1800s, early 1900s, and what he tried to do was he wrote what he called the stile antico. So he took a lot of the melodic ideas of like the earlier 1800s music, but used 19th, 20th century harmonic ideas. So it's just very schmaltzy and goofy, not goofy, but very schmaltzy. It's a song about love lost, and it says, "Oh, my dear beloved, where have you gone? I wander from room to room, calling your name and crying out for you, and I weep so much that, or I weep so often that with weeping alone, I nourish my heart." So,
goodness.
very Italian.
Yes. Well, I love it. Okay, I'm going to step out of the way, and
Great.
you can...
Mhm.
Excellent.
Thank you
oh
so
my
much.
goodness,
Well, it's been a
Felix.
pleasure to be here.
Oh my, we have some applause coming from the back. So the concert is Saturday, March 24th at 7:30 at the Cathedral of Saints Peter and Paul in Providence. We'll have all the information at golocalprov.com. Felix, thank you so much for being here today.
Great. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
I'm going to take another quick pause, and I'll get set up with my next guest, and we'll be right back.